hardware. I play to win. So understanding that the pressure that the quote-unquote pressure that comes with playing with the Wildcats, I already have that for myself. And so with that being my goal as well, like I don't feel any additional pressure.
Wagstaff rolls back the clock, the old boy. What? And the arena erupts.
There is a lot of history with the club, but it kind of means nothing come playoffs, right? Momentum also means nothing. As cliche as it sounds, it's a brand new season. There's obviously 6 teams left, and in a week or so there'll be 4 teams left. 2 semi-finals, and you win a couple and you're through to the grand final. So, yeah, it's kind of anyone's game, I think.
Well, Jesse Wagstaff maybe getting on in years, but he got some good cavalry beside him there. And Christian Doolittle, what a season. Tied with Nathan Sobey for 3rd in the MVP. And I'll tell you what, I think he's still just snuck under the radar a little bit. I don't think he gets the full credit that he probably deserves.
No, I think so. Remember that presser from Scott Roth where he called him the best player in the league by some distance? Best two-way player is what he's really referring to. He's right up there. He's up there. I think Xavier Cooks is another great two-way player, but Christian Doolittle probably right now sets the bar in that regard.
He does. It was not fair for him to bring the ball down the court, set it up.
Can't do everything.
He can't do everything. Give him the ball inside and let him go to work.
Should just have to do a little.
That's do a little. That was good. No.
Nah.
No, I can't do it. Okay, well, let's jump over to the whiteboards then.
Whiteboards with John,
I'm worried
really?
because you don't have your glasses. You don't have your glasses at the moment. I know sometimes you got to read it off the screen.
No, I got my glasses. Don't worry about it.
Okay, we got it there. Go ahead.
Hey, pound that ball inside. Let's just test Edwards' back and see if it's his back and his neck. We want to see what it is. Protect that three-point line. CG, Doyle, know where these guys are. And look, get the ball up the floor, man. Set some terror screens. You can't have your guards bringing it up the floor and turning it over.
For those who don't know what a terror screen is, that's setting a hard pick at the
big man setting a hard screen.
Aaron Baines, Nate Jarwide, the best in the business.
It's called terror screen for a reason because you're going to leave that up with a concussion.
And again, for Melbourne United, I've spoke about it with Finn Delane here, but it's really important to throw the first punch. In an away venue, really make sure you can do that and don't just settle for the three-point line, understanding that you can get those threes if you go inside and out and ramp up the pressure. Yes, you expect Perth to have looked at tape, to have gone on a couple of sessions on the floor. How do we make sure we handle the pressure of Tyson Walker and Shea Ili? That doesn't mean you have to take a backward step. Ramp it up and see how they go, because executing it is a different story.
I like it, Pete.
Can I add something to that as well?
Sure.
Melbourne United, they need someone like what John Brown does, where he's screaming at the fans, he's screaming at his teammates. They didn't have that against Tasmania.
They're a quiet team. You're absolutely right. They need somebody to pick it up and get the team going, man.
Tell you what I'm not quiet about. Choice Hotels. And one fan could be set for the ultimate finals experience, all thanks to Choice Hotels. You could win courtside finals tickets, flights and accommodation. That's almost too much. Plus an unforgettable on-court experience. Sign up to Choice Privileges now for your chance to win. Scan the QR code to enter. I'll tell you what, there was
you need my glasses on that?
I might need it. There was almost a point where you could have got a spot on Tassie's roster with how many players they were able to roll out there. But guys, finally, your predictions quickly.
I'm going to go Melbourne. I'm sorry. I'm going to go Perth by 3.
I'm with Perth right now with the injury concerns to Melbourne. And you always got to back the best player on the floor, which I think is Christian Doolittle.
Christian Doolittle set to explode in this one. It's survive and advance. Perth Wildcats and Melbourne United.
As the season's gone on, only the strongest have been able to survive. With just 6 teams remaining, ultimate glory is suddenly in sight. Here's Christian Doolittle for 3. Foxwell with the steal. Potential's pocket and puts the Phoenix in front. Great pass. Sobey for Brown. Doolittle, great look again. Drains the 3. Foxwell on the move. Doolittle barges his way in. Southeast Melbourne are full of confidence. Doolittle inside with authority. Foxwell stolen away and lays it up. Pulls up from a mile away. Southeast Melbourne Phoenix dominate the Perth Wildcats. 111 to 94. Hello and welcome to John Cain Arena. Melbourne United and the Tasmanian Jack Jumpers win or go home. Johnson banks it off the glass. Delaney back-to-back triples for United. Guarded by Golding. Josh up gets through and a silky finish. Golding steps away, heavily contested, doesn't matter. Krebs knocks it down. Doyle steps back. Cash it. DJ gets on the rim once again. Doyle steps back, put Marshall on his hind legs and knocked it down. A big bucket to get the crowd involved. Jack Jumpers will need to find a miracle. Doyle pulls up, heavily contested. Bottom of the net! That's all she wrote. Melbourne United advanced to play the Perth Wildcats. Its last chance saloon on Saturday in a do-or-die play-in game.
Great to have your company, folks. It's do or die out here in the West. as the Perth Wildcats play host to Melbourne United's. Who is going to advance through to a semi-final series? We're about to find out. Can Chris Golding guide his team to victory? Or is it all about Christian Doolittle and Milton Doyle? It's exciting times ahead here in WA, and looking forward towards this game here. Derek Rucker and Damien Martin join me now. D-Ruck, I'm pumped about this game because these two teams, I say it each and every time they play, they do not like each other.
Well, we are about to experience why the NBL is such an unforgiving league. Two teams who have won at least 20-plus games this season. Well, Damo, someone meets a cruel fate, and their season will be over by the end of these 40 minutes.
And neither team is even thinking about that right now. As far as they're concerned, they're going to win tonight. They're going to advance to semi-finals. But you're right, when that final siren sounds, the reality checks into the players. They were like, what have we done? We cannot believe it's come to an end. But they're all out there tonight to give it absolutely everything. I've been pumped since we knew this was going to be the matchup because they very rarely let us down when they come up against each other.
Absolutely. Let's have a look at the road to the championship. And, of course, we're sitting right there. The play-in game. These two teams, well, qualified for it. Perth, of course, losing to South East, who go on to play Adelaide 36ers. And the Sydney Kings, they await the winner of tonight.
Well, it's not the greatest present to get for winning this game, but it gives you a chance to keep your season alive, and anything is possible in the NBL, as we know. Look, this is going to be a really tough matchup. I believe the team that dominates the glass will go on and face Sydney in the semifinals.
Now, Damo, the man next to me in D-Ruck, he never turned the ball over at all.
Oh, boy.
So I'm going to go to you for this one because you might have just turned it over once or twice in your career. 17 turnovers from the Perth Wildcats against South East. One, because South East is such a great defensive unit, but did they do that? Was it a concern for them in terms of not just their defence, but them, how will they control the ball?
Well, obviously Melbourne United would have been checking into it going, is this the blueprint of beating the Wildcats? Is picking up full court. It started with Foxwell, Brown the third, Clark comes in. That full court pressure defence is something that we heard Dylan Windler talk to Anneli Maley about. They're prepared for it. Let's see if they can execute.
Absolutely, it was a pretty ordinary watch for the Perth Wildcats and their fans. Very exciting though for South East because they are certainly a team to beat. Finn Delaney is a man that Perth need to stop because he had a career high against the Jack Jumpers.
He was outstanding, 13 of 19 from the field. And in a night where Melbourne United start off very slowly on the offensive end, Finn Delaney came up big, stepped in, gave him offensive productivity that was really needed. And if he can knock down the three ball and just keep this Perth defense honest, I think the rest of Melbourne United's players will be much more productive in this one against the Wildcats. But Delaney, he almost paid for his contract in just that performance right there.
Absolutely, 33 points. Hopefully he can turn it on again for United fans. Let's catch up with a lady now. I saw the Perth Lynx last week. Unfortunately for the Lynx, they didn't get over the line. But what were Anneli Maley's stats? 20. She can actually tell us. Anneli, what were your stats?
I was a lazy 27 and 19. I did all right. If they want to sub me in, I kind of got my shoes out the back anyway. Anyway, I agree with Ruck. I reckon that the team that wins the boards is the team that wins tonight. And then speaking to Dylan Windler pre-game, he spoke about that it was addressed in the group that they're going to need to do point guard by committee. It was definitely an issue because if I was Melbourne United, I would have been watching that game, licking my lips, thinking I'm getting all the way up and in these guys. It'll be a really great matchup tonight. It'll be fiery. It'll be a good one. Yeah, and I can't wait.
Absolutely, Anneli. Well done to you as well on a terrific season. Here's the starting five for the Perth Wildcats. Well, Henschel, Pepper, Windler, Doolittle and Joe Lawala-Chul. They need to get the job done. They need to get them off to a good start.
Well, Rucker, you and I were talking before the game going, are they going to go with David Duke Jr. in that point guard position or stick with Benny Henschel? I love that John really showing the confidence and faith in his young point guard by saying, hey, what happened at South East, that is over with. Let's give you a fresh start. Go and get the job done.
And Melbourne United going with a really strong five. Daniels will stay in the starting lineup. He was a plus 18 the other night in only 17 minutes. That's a strong lineup. Of course, Jesse Edwards still not fully recovered enough to be in the starting lineup, but he will play.
Yeah, he did warm up with the team, so we look forward to seeing him at some stage in the game. Off a few hands and we're underway. Henschel with the responsibilities. And he's going to go straight to the rack. Stopped in his tracks, and Joe Lawala-Chul will try and make the most of this matchup. The shot won't go. And the rebound is a good one from Walker. Pass inside, Daniels. Off the glass, couldn't make it. Pepper. big games for the Boomers. That time it rolled around, not so good against South East Melbourne. He found the pressure pretty immense.
Well, 3 quick shots already in this one. Great atmosphere in here. A warm day here out west, 38 degrees, and you can feel the temperature here in this building as Henschel comes down in attack.
There's a lot of nervous Wildcat fans, and I'm sure a fair few United ones watching on from Melbourne. Joe tapped out of his hands, and Delaney nearly stole that.
And Damo, I like how they went to JLA on that first possession. Go back at him. Establish him in this game. Put Krislovich under pressure and force Dean Vickerman's hand to get Edwards in the game, and you can test that back.
And I know they've got set plays drawn up this early in the game, but I want to see JLA. He is a capable three-point shooter. He can go off the dribble. I want to roll into that low block, get him going early off the back of early foul trouble against Southeast only a couple of nights ago. They need the best of him tonight. Let's get him some looks early.
Quick shot on that occasion. Winluck working hard on the boards. Henschel gets it back again. Back out it goes to Doolittle. That one a little firm. The offensive board's good for the team in red. Here's Pepper. Another shot goes up. They still can't make it go. That'll frustrate the fans because they've got to stand until the Wildcats score.
0-5 early, the Wildcats. They've had pretty good looks.
Daniels, all eyes too on Chris Golding. No threes in his last 7 quarters of basketball. Hasn't hit a 3 since Feb 19. Can he do it now just to get him underway? Decides to take it to the rack, but it'll be an offensive foul. Yes, it will be. It'll go against Chris Golding.
Well, they've called him for using that left hand to keep Henschel off him. I thought there was contact initially from Henschel prior to the offensive foul. It wasn't whistled. Tough break there for Golding and United.
Here's Pepper. Joe Lualachul takes it this time to the bracket. That one doesn't go. Moaning and groaning around the stands.
I don't think the Wildcats need to be worried about that shot clock. They are running and gunning right now.
Walker, little crossover. Shooting not so great to get us underway in this playing game. This man can maybe turn it around. Little jump up, 2 points. Chris Golding's off and racing now.
Both teams done a very good job executing. They just haven't been able to finish.
2.5 minutes of standing for the fans, and there's a steal. Golding will take it again. Another turnover for Perth, and another 2 points for the superstar from United.
It's time for Doolittle to get this ball and make a play on this possession, Damo.
Yeah.
So they'll go to JLA again. Wanting to hand it off to Windler. They lose possession again. Daniels taking on Henschel. Henschel's defense very good. And he might have hurt himself. No, there's a bit of padding there on the boxes. And he'll get up okay. And Perth want to change early on because they are scoreless in 3 minutes of basketball.
Golding reads that pass perfectly. Gets out for an uncontested layup. Takes off his wrong foot, and then Daniels right back at him. Good defense there by Henschel.
Daniels again. Gets himself inside. Krislovich will shoot. Can't make that go.
And they brought Duke Jr. into the game for Henschel, but another turnover.
Another turnover. Daniels takes it to the hoop. Could have drawn a foul as well, but not called on that occasion.
One more empty possession, Damo, and John Riley's got to get a timeout.
He's staring at the moment. He's got the angry John Riley faces. Joe Lualachul finally scores for the fans to have a seat.
It's good to see JLA touch the ball in the mid-range there, but people might say it's selfish, but when I think when you are the best player in your team, you're their best scorer, there's nothing selfish about someone like Christian Doolittle demanding the ball. And I think he's being too tentative and too kind out there right now. Happy to sit back and watch his teammates move the ball around. Go demand it, go make a play.
Being great requires you are willing to take on a bit of risk.
Little two-man game going on that occasion. Once again, Joe Lualachul not watching the play. He could have actually picked up that ball as it bounced out of the rebounder hands. And 3 changes for United. They're happy with their start. Chris Golding really giving it to Doyle to rev him up to keep this run going at 6-2. Only low scoring, but United certainly have started well.
Well, they certainly have, and they've been able to establish a certain tone to this basketball game that I believe really suits them in terms of trying to get out of here with a W.
It's the play-in game. Delaney might have handed that off. Edwards inside the key, worked his way very patiently towards the 2 points.
A lot of luxury they've got as well when you go to the bench and all of a sudden you've got Doyle subbing in, Edwards subbing in, and Krebs.
David Duke Jr. swatted away.
Well, United improved significantly defensively with their rim protection, obviously when Edwards is in the game. But he does so much for how the perimeter players are able to defend up the floor, as we see Duke Jr. get his left-handed layup sent into the first row.
They've called on Jesse Wagstaff now, the Perth Wildcats, to try and get him going. And Windler drew the foul, so all the points for United inside the paint. 8-2 is the score at the moment, and Jesse did this the last time we were here at RAC Arena, where he spurred his team back into the game after a poor start, so they'll be hoping for a repeat of that.
And Damo, I like the physical presence that United are establishing on the defensive end. Even though I think the Wildcats have had good looks and been unable to take advantage of those looks, a lot of that I think is due to the pressure United are putting on them.
And we talk about it all the time. We're allowed to get away with a bit more physicality in postseason play. And everyone knows that. You're aware of it. Let's go and test the referee, see what we can get away with, see how physical we can be, and then put it on the 3 guys in green. And that's what Melbourne are doing really well right now.
Illy comes into the game too for United, so plenty coming off the bench for the visitors. Edwards, enjoy that matchup against Pepper. He should have just shot it somehow. He continued to go. John really wants the count inside the key, but...
Well, he was looking for a double dribble when Edwards lost the ball, but his defender just left him there.
Duke Jr. aggressive, blocking foul.
Wow, a generous call here, allowing David Duke Jr. to go to the line. They've ruled that 2 shots, that he was in his shooting motion.
You've said it 7 times now. I heard you the first. Yo. 2 shots.
A little early warning here for John Riley.
You had no legal guarding position.
Let's go. The call was correct. There was a foul there, Damo. It was just a matter of whether or not he was actually in the shooting motion.
Let's go.
You used the word generous. I'm going to go with you there, even after I saw the replay. I wasn't expecting free throws.
Right now, the Wildcats 1 of 9 from the field with 3 turnovers. Less than ideal start on the offensive end, but, you know, 5-4-point game at this stage, you're okay. You'll play a lot better. You hope.
That one won't go. Wagstaff is pretty physical on that occasion. Double team comes. Edwards has had a good start. Obviously came in with an injury cloud. Did the warm-up, he looked okay, so promising signs for him. Those back spasms. Doyle is aggressive. Doesn't make it go. Finn Delaney, superb during the week, and that was a good leap as he dropped that in the hoop.
He's a different man in this postseason. Was dominant the other night against Tasmania, and Milt Doyle was outstanding the other night, also coming off the bench for United. He's been in really good form over the past month. Doolittle, corner 3.
Somehow drops in. 12-8 the score. Delaney again. Now Doyle. Standing him is Doolittle. Pepper against Delaney. Seems a little unfair. Hands in there from Wagstaff. 4 hands from Pepper. Comes out. Maybe this is the time for the Cats and their fans. Windler hesitated. Duke as well. Little crossover taking on Doyle. He's now stuck underneath the hoop. And he'll bring it back out, 13 on the shot clock. Doolittle against Illy. Comes off his foot. Sums up the start to their game. Windler. This is how you want him to play. This is how you want Dylan Windler to play. Physical at the offensive ends.
Great move there by Windler. He's been struggling with plantar fasciitis. Very painful condition. Playing through it. Big offensive rebounds there for the Wildcats.
Down the other end, stripped out of the hands of Delaney. Duke Jr. with some speeds. Out of control a little, but he's drawn the foul. So a couple of changes, and they've changed the momentum a touch. Duke Jr. and Windler on that occasion, 12 plays 10.
I want to have a look at the replay on this. Unless he stepped on his feet, I thought it was pretty good defense Looked like Shea Ili was going backwards, but there may have been a bit of contact with the feet.
Shea Ili coming back into the lineup, played 8 minutes the other night. Didn't look like anything.
Good call, Damo.
And Ken Arick, referee, was quite demonstrative with his block call.
Yeah, that didn't look like a foul at all, did it? It's in the slow-mo, but Cats and their fans will take it. 3 remaining in this quarter. 12-10 the score. 1 or 2, the Duke. Zilly. Russell Nance takes him. Cole Bowen on the court, the West Australian. Ili again, pass is terrific. Rizlovic swatted away by JLA.
Great pass from Ili. Better block by JLA. Absolutely boarded that one.
Doolittle kissing the sky. Dean Bickerman right in the face of Cole Bowen.
Not happy. Bowen allows Doolittle to just stride down the court. Bickerman wants a higher extended pickup on Doolittle. You can't afford to let Christian Doolittle get it going here. The Amy replay. My, oh my, great block on this end by JLA.
Superb stuff there. And then down the other end, Bowen just didn't come to him. You knew Doolittle was going to send that from long range, and he dropped in the 3. Amy replay looking after us, right into the hands of Doolittle and the basket. Let's tune into John. Really got plenty to say.
The short action. Make sure we stay above it, because they come off, they want to play the pocket. You can cat and mouse the pocket pass as well. Hey, offensively, we rebound, we find flow. Hey, stay with the D, stay with the D. Here we go.
So 14-12 the score. A little fight back here from the Perth Wildcats after a real sluggish start. Took them a little over 3 minutes to score their first basket in the game. And now they're rolling. In this game, these two teams, Damo, and even back in your day. Hey, 10 years ago, you were a championship player and an MVP of a grand final series.
Yeah, it was nice to get a few photos sent my way. Trevor Gleeson sent one across. A few of my former teammates sent them over. So, yeah, it's hard to believe it's been 10 years, but I don't mind admitting the quality of basketball out there today is a bit better than a decade ago. And I don't say that lightly, because it was good back then as well.
Annalie Maley was listening in to Dean Bickerman.
He was asking his players to follow the scout. He didn't like how Bowen let Doolittle get into a rhythm 3. Clearly that was something that they spoke about before the game, because he was not happy about that. On top of it, he mentioned the rebounding. Now, Perth's had a couple of really good looks off the O board that could have been dead plays, so I imagine that was something that was causing him a bit of stress.
Good on you, Annalie. We did speak about it, Rucker, didn't we, pre-game, just in our little chat, how as Duke will shoot. No, Russo Nance gets the 3. We spoke about how Damo in his prime would have gone against Kendrick and...
Oh, yeah, would have been great to see.
Oh, that would have been good to see.
Well, 10 years ago, I was matched up against Shea Ili. He was out there playing for New Zealand at that stage.
Yeah, absolutely. Defense has stepped up a bit here from Perth. Doolittle. Windler wants it. Doolittle wants to go to his big man down on the post. And JLA helps him out and makes him look real good.
After that slow start on the offensive end, the Wildcats have clicked into rhythm.
Walker nudges off, shoots. That doesn't go. Another board. Here's Milton. Got plenty of time. This should go in. No, it won't. They're finding it tough now at the offensive ends. Doolittle, you knew he was going to attack it and shoot it off the glass for 2.
And again, Kyle Bowen finds himself asleep on the wing, doesn't deny or discourage this pass here. Lets Doolittle catch it, and then once Doolittle has you on his hip, you are cooked. Bowen will come out of the game. Bickerman daps him up to try and keep his spirits up, but you know he's disappointed deep down.
Of course, the NBL app is the place to go for the ultimate finals destination for live scores, in-depth stats. As Doolittle makes it a 3-point play. Breaking news, expert analysis. You're on that, D-Ruck. switch on push notifications, etc. Hungry Jacks NBL Finals Series. Make sure you tune into the NBL app. Download it now if you already haven't, but I'm sure most have. It's a very busy app, and this passing until the last one was really good. The Wildcats defense has really turned it on in the last 3 or 4 minutes, hasn't it?
Certainly has, and now United is up to 5 turnovers already in this first period. And particularly, Damo, in the past couple of minutes, United, they've gone scoreless.
They certainly have. Walker, little pump fake, then throws it up and tapped in. Well played, Finn Delaney.
The speed of the game means that you've got Melbourne have used 10 of their players so far in the first quarter. The Wildcats have gone to their bench and used 8 total players, and there's been only 5 fouls altogether, all of which have been called on Melbourne. So I dare say Dean might get in the ears of the referees at quarter time, just saying, hey, how about some luck for our guys as well?
Well, that was a 17-0 run that was just stopped, so that was massive. Very important basket as we close in on quarter time. Another one here gets them back into the game and gives them the confidence needed. As Walker is the man, and he even had JLA's hand in his face. He still shot it.
Well, the other night against Tasmania, Melbourne were sluggish scoring the basketball in the first quarter, only putting 15 on the board. They've gotten 17 here, which is not good.
Low scoring, but so is their last contest. It's a 1-point margin in the 70s. Potential. 4 on the shot clock. Has to go to work.
Wow.
And offensive foul on Dylan Windler.
Now again, Damo, I thought Walker may have packed him on the rip through. Certainly Windler did foul him, but did they miss the first one?
John really riding a fine line at the moment with the referees. He's working them over real big at the moment. There's 3 on the shot clock. Walker with the speed and the figure roll. 2 points. Right on the buzzer, makes it a 3-point ball game. Good finish for United after a sluggish middle of quarter. 22-19 the score. Plenty of talk with the referees at the moment. It's hyped up. It's do or die out here in the West.
Welcome back to RAC. The score is 22-19 in favour of the Wildcats. The foul count 5-1 in that first quarter, so I'm sure Vickerman had lots to say. The pace of this game has been unreal so far. Barely any stoppages, guys. I'm just wondering, do you reckon they can keep up this pace for the next 3 quarters? Because so far it has been unreal.
Well, I mentioned before that Melbourne United have already used 10 of their players. Perth Wildcats have used 8 because of the speed of the game. Fatigue is a factor. But I say that, and in the same breath, Dylan Windler and Christian Doolittle have not taken a break yet. Let's see if they can manage all 40 minutes because they're going to be so valuable to this Wildcats team.
So Walker had a good finish to that first quarter. Edwards was productive. Good block from JLA. He's enjoying that challenge. Daniels underneath runs into a little bit of trouble, and Doolittle, who started with 9 points in the first term, steals it out of his hands, sends it from 3 again. No, it doesn't go.
Daniels got lucky there. He left the ball handler. A great ball handler is Golding. Lets one fly from Frio, no good.
None from 12 now, Chris Golding, in his last 12 shots. So that is very unlike the superstar for United.
Melbourne United dominating in the paint. They've got 16 of their 19 points at the rim.
Was that a he's let it fly from Fremantle? Look at you,
Correct.
adjusting to life out west.
Thank you.
Good hands underneath, but couldn't be stolen by Daniels. 22-19 the score. Joe Luala-Toole looks to Doolittle. And foul there as well, so it's starting to add up a little, the fouls.
They're not doing a good job on Doolittle, United, in defensive transition. Right there, he gets caught with a smaller Walker on him, and Melbourne United need to communicate better and get those matchups right. This is just unfair right here, and Walker cannot win that battle.
It actually surprised me that Christian Doolittle doesn't get double ball when he puts the ball to the floor, because he just is so patient. He knows his spots, and we've got a pretty good sample size now of what he's done across 2 seasons here in the NBL, yet he's not renowned for drawing a double and then making the extra pass. So I'd be testing him to see what happens if he does have a smaller player on him in situations like that.
Well, right now he's just scored his 10th point, and we're early in the second quarter. United need to do something to disrupt his rhythm and his confidence.
So here he is, the star. He's into double figures at the moment. That one rattles around, though. 1 of 2, 23-19 the score. Guaranteed to go down the line this game. Stolen? No, off the foots of the Duke. How have we seen David Duke Jr. this season?
Oh, it's been tough to accurately evaluate his performance because of that injury, and it's hard when you get injured late in the season, but now's his chance, and he can particularly be helpful on this end of the floor in defending some of these premier guards in the competition.
Yeah, I think it's the speed. It's the speed that has stood out to me, because they were probably lacking it in a position that is required because of how many quality import guards there are around the league. So his sheer speed, even in this game, they subbed him in, he lifted the tempo, and that's when the Wildcats went on that 17-0 run.
Big swat from the Duke there. Delaney came out of his hands. I like his aggression, though. He's coming off, as we said, a career-high 33.
And Dean Vickerman's
going to go and review this one.
Yeah, he's going to have a look at this. Finn Delaney was 100% certain that that ball came off the Wildcats.
So an early one, but as you said, Delaney was very confident. Tangerine timeout as we await to see if it's successful or not. 23-19 the score.
Damo, to go to the review this early is risky in an elimination game of this magnitude. This must go United's way.
We'll have a look here, Damo. Oh, that's a hard one.
Obviously, Elijah Pepper swipes down with his left hand and does make contact. Just whether it bounces off Finn and goes out. Does it hit his right elbow?
This
Pepper
is tight.
into Delaney's elbow, maybe.
So here's Pepper with the swap there, and then does it.
That's very close.
It's very close. Yeah, that's a tough one.
And I would not be surprised if this is unsuccessful. That is a huge play.
All over it, D-Ruck.
And Dean Vickerman and Finn Delaney are not making eye contact at the moment.
Kyle Bowen, now Finn Delaney. Who else is in his sights?
And
it's a 4-point ball game.
Delaney might have been trying to convince the referee, but he ended up convincing his coach, and unfortunately went the wrong way.
It did. Saturday night basketball here in Perth. Windler. Juke Jr. The pass a little slick though for JLA. Daniels, quick pass. Two-pointer no, but tapped in the end by Dash.
Nice play by Daniels. After a very nice pass by Duke Jr. on the other end, JLA was somewhat obstructed. Couldn't see the pass coming.
A lot of physical stuff going on between Windler and Daniels as the Duke shoots away. Windler will take the rebound, and there's a push. It's going to go against Joe Luala-Chul. John really wants his video guy to quickly review this one, just in case.
I don't think they'll be contesting this one. You see JLA come flying in and just knocks out Dash. But on Dash, I'm surprised and impressed. It looks like he's put on a bit of size.
Yeah.
He doesn't mind getting in amongst it.
He wasn't
physically.
getting too much pushed around by Windler, was he?
No.
He's standing up to the challenge. Windler's having a rest. His first one of the game so far.
And now the Wildcats will go with their small ball lineup. And Edwards makes them pay as he catches one up above the rim. United doing a good job here. They've tied this ball game up.
Roller coaster ride, this one. Here's Pepper, turns the corner, shoots the three.
I'm not going to get you to reveal how old you are, Derek, but you're going through puberty, mate. I know you got excited. You know my ears.
The voice can go up a few notches. Apologies, Damo.
He got excited, Damo. You might want to do that at some stage in your life. Walker, Delaney, quick passing. Daniels in the corner. A little short. Duke Jr. takes the rebound. Liked his intensity to start this game. They needed it, Perth. Oh, Pepper. That was a long way out. That was Chris Golding-like. Delaney again. And a foul there. The body contact slowed him down, though. It was good defense in the end.
You know Pepper hit that last shot right in front of us. But this next time, like, the stakes are high. Try and get Doolittle involved. United have shown no real resistance to Christian Doolittle when he gets the ball in a good position on the floor.
He came into the quarter with 9 already to his name. He's only made the one free throw since then, one attempt in the second quarter. You're spot on. Keep getting the ball to the hot guy who's been your MVP of the season so far.
But this has been the disadvantage and something we saw the Wildcats struggle with in a different regard without having a point guard, the awareness to know who needs the ball, the context of the game. Right now, I'm trying to get Christian Doolittle as many shots as possible in an attempt to get him to 30-plus points.
Chance for Burgers here. Delaney on the line. He's not giving it to us.
Lockie, off the back of your challenge to me to get excited. I was about to go crazy had there been Burgers come our way. He had to ruin it for me. That was going to be my moment.
So food gets you excited.
That's the one. Yeah,
That's the one. Fair enough.
Emergency message to Daniels.
So the referees, sounds like they're just watching out for Daniels and Windler matchup. But they're off in the corner here as Pepper's being really aggressive and he scores the two. He's the man at the moment. Forget Doolittle, the Pep's.
Well, Doolittle's not on the floor now, so the context has changed. Okay, now he becomes more of a primary threat. Krizlovic knocks down a big three.
Ball. That was important. That's trimmed it back to one. Wagstaff gets around the corner. In he goes, really aggressive. Out of court, came off his hands.
John really asking for a foul there. And John really will get a behavior warning for asking the question.
He has been up and about early in this game. A little warning there for John Relly. Big game, do or die. Everyone tense, and a blocking foul against Jesse Wagstaff. Henschel was very excited. He had the ball in his hand, open court. 28-27 the score.
Now that's 4 team fouls already for the Wildcats. And they need to be a little bit more disciplined, as both guys fouled him on that occasion. Nico Fernandez could have taken his choice on who he wanted to call that foul on.
Melbourne, I've got to say, super aggressive. As you mentioned, 4 fouls, and we've still got over 6 minutes to play in the second quarter. They should be living at the free throw line.
Just attack. Put the ball on the deck and see if your defender can play. Oh, wow, that's risky.
Gee, they're really risking it there. Wagstaff's hands were everywhere. Shooting away, but missing. Chris Finn Delaney. Here's Wagstaff again. He's going to go all the way. The big fella lost control, had too many hands around him, and then a push off. Finn Delaney not happy, and it'll be a double foul, I reckon, here. I reckon there might be a double foul. They're going to have a chance.
Back to back. One on Finn and one on Wagstaff.
Okay, and you're good with that?
So, wait.
Here we go.
Stop. We have a double foul.
Backward.
Red, 24. Black, 7.
Nico's all over it. We'll have a look on the replay. So it was after this when he lost control. Just off to the left-hand side.
Well, the Wildcats actually wind up winning this incident because that's the second foul on Finn Delaney, who's had a significant impact on this game early, and Dean Vickerman will remove him from the game to protect him from further foul trouble.
So it'll be a United ball.
Double foul, cancel each other.
The penalties cancel one another. Does not matter. A double foul penalty stops.
Jesse just fouled the shit out of me.
Beg your pardon?
Jesse Wagstaff on the show fouled the shit out of me.
So Kristovic also wanting a foul on Jesse. he's a bad boy at the moment, Jess. They all want him. Kristovic now to Doyle. 1 point. Bowen had a tough start to the game. Pass into the corner. Krebs hasn't seen a lot of the action. Oh, around the back pass. An absolute ripper. Bowen finishes with the 2.
Slick pass by Tanner Krebs, who's been playing good basketball for Melbourne United, shooting the 3 well, just understanding how he can impact basketball games off the bench.
Duke Jr. stuck at the moment. Windler passes up high. JLA under pressure, but he'll be fouled.
I think you're being very generous there, claiming that was a pass from Windler. I think it might have been a fumble, but it's ended up pretty well in the hands of JLA.
Look at the Amy replay.
Yeah, Krebs.
Look at this one here. Puts that ball on the deck. Does a good job playing under control.
Oh, yeah.
Smooth with the offhand.
Good camera work, too. Right, all over it. Read it beautifully. The Amy replay.
Damo, I don't know if I expect too much from JLA, but it just seems like he should be able to dominate this basketball game when Jesse Edwards isn't on the floor.
I don't know if they're noticing when Edwards is off to go and call plays to simply roll it in and see if anyone else from Melbourne United can play above the rim the way the JLA can, especially when he starts getting into his baby hooks.
So he's only had the 5 shots so far, JLA. Natalie, what have you got for us courtside?
You guys have noticed, but in any stoppage of play, Melbourne United, they're together, they're in their huddles, they're talking about what they want to do next, and it's not the same for the Wildcats. You're talking about them not recognizing that they can go at a mismatch. I don't know if they're talking about it in the huddle because they're not even getting into us.
That's valid, Annalie. Very good point. And again, that comes down to having a leader out there, Damo, a true point guard.
A little bit of trouble underneath, working hard, Bowen, and he'll finally get out of jail there. Ben Henschel fouled him. There'll be a couple of shots too. In a bit of foul trouble now, the Perth Wildcats. And there's a lot of tension in this stadium at the moment. Henschel was desperate, then just got under the legs of Kyle Bowen. A bit of a sore back, but he'll be right because there's shots on the line.
And Damo, the other night against Southeast Melbourne, Perth Wildcats were in a shot attempt deficit. They took only 61 shots in that game. And already in this one, United have taken 10 more shots.
So there we go. We're going to have a short break, Tangerine timeout. And, of course, thanks to Bunnings. We love Bunnings. Young Hoopers got closer to the action than ever before. Bunnings courtside access delivered epic NBL game day experience across Australia and New Zealand, giving the next generation unforgettable money can't buy moments with every team. Bunnings courtside access backing the next generation of ballers. I've got to head to Bunnings tomorrow. The 2 dogs, the 2 puppies, they've dug holes in my backyard. We've got a baby shower next week. Got to get some sand for it. So Bunnings maybe having a few strips. Do they have grass, Bunnings? I need
They've got everything, mate.
They've got everything. All right, well, I'll get that as well. I'll get everything. Have you got a voucher for me? Or?
No, I was about to say congratulations, baby shower.
Yes, first time granddad.
Oh, okay.
First time granddad.
Oh, that's wonderful news, mate.
Very excited. 31-29 is the score. So it's been a great little term here for Melbourne. It's a low-scoring affair, but that's what we expected, wasn't it, from games previous? And with everything that's on the line, it's do or die.
Well, you mentioned the shot deficit. It's hard to get offensive rebounds when you're taking shots so quickly in transition, when you don't have anybody to crash on the boards. And right now, Melbourne are absolutely smashing Perth when it comes to the offensive rebound count, 9-4 right now. And they continue to build that lead collectively with 12 defensive rebounds to Perth's 10.
Cole goes to the line. Annalie Maley was listening to John Rillie. Annalie?
Look, he was saying that his team is playing exactly the way that Melbourne United want them to. They're speeding up, they're taking the wrong shots, and then on the defensive end, they're not protecting the basket. He said everyone keeps running away from the ball. I don't know what's going on. Protect the paint, protect the basket, and play their style of basketball was the main message in that timeout just then.
Well, it's 4 points. Perth struggling to get the ball from the baseline. Now it's into the hands of their man. Doolittle handing it off to Pepper. Windler looking for a trailer, decides to go into the corner. Henschel, a lot of physical stuff, loses his balance. That was a good pass. Basket won't go though. That was unlucky from Windler. Gee, there's a lot of elbows flying in that play between Henschel and Illy.
A great skill there by Ben Henschel to get himself under control and whip that underhand pass into Windler, who made a great catch. Should have really finished that and given himself an and one opportunity. But as a consolation, he'll go to the line to shoot 2. Important 2 here. Now the Wildcats get to build their defense and see if they can force United to execute in the half.
It's the first of 2. And gets the second as well. Back to a 2-point margin. Illy with speed. Pressure comes and
No, it's not.
it's a foul. Windler again.
Red
And that's 3 on Dylan Windler.
Tried to hand it off the foul to Henschel because he knew he had 3 coming.
But again, ill-discipline and those types of plays, you just have to be a bit smarter. Illy gets Henschel on his hip and he's walled up, and Windler just comes in and hacks down on him. Easy call for the referee.
Would have had him in a great double team in a tough position to get out of. Instead, just lack of discipline, arms go in, foul is called. Illy punishes him by making the first.
The 100-year tour is coming to town. June 20 to July 19, 100 years of thrills, 100 years of laughs, 100 years of joy. The Harlem Globetrotters are coming to your city. This is your only chance to be part of the Harlem Globetrotters 100-year tour across Australia and New Zealand. Don't miss your chance to be part of it. Legacy, it's all about the legacy. Buy some tickets now and get involved. The full court pressure has been immense from United. This is good stuff.
Great call by Dean Vickerman. That's back-to-back possessions we've seen Melbourne pick up full court. They saw what happened a few nights ago against South East Melbourne, and they're going to challenge Perth each and every time to take it 90 feet.
Wow. Just a lack of discipline is killing the Perth Wildcats. You just cannot afford to reach in and hack at the basketball like that. There are times when that is permissible, but this is not one of those times, Damo.
It becomes contagious. One of your teammates does it, a second, a third, and all of a sudden you just think, oh, maybe it's my turn to reach in and try and create something from nothing. But in the end, clear foul there, and expect Melbourne to pick up full court again. As soon as that pass gets made by the Wildcats, they'll double team him.
And the Krebs makes them really pay. It's out to 6 points. United's start to their game was terrific, but this has been a really good patch. Double team, and they're in all sorts at the moment.
Lucky. They were in all sorts of hurt.
2. Yes, sir.
And fortunately for the Wildcats, United reach in and commit a foul. They had a great trap. Just hands up. There's no need to reach in here. And Bowen tries to go around the back. That's a low-risk move.
Doolittle goes to the strike. Scores the 1. Let them off the hook at the moment, United, because they were all over him. There was no way they were going to get the ball over the halfway line. And he makes it 2. So more changes, more stars coming on the court for United.
Wow, this is an interesting shift as they bring in Golding, Edwards, and Delaney. And this is This is a real opportunity for United to put the hammer down and try and build this lead in the final 4 minutes of this second quarter.
There is a whole lot of offense out there right now for Melbourne United.
And here they go. Golding will shoot, long way out. Big shot! First three for a long time at a real important stage of the game for Chris Golding.
Great play call there. Just the basic pick and roll dive, and Golding's a lifter, knocks down the three on a good delivery.
Pass is good. Rushed into the shot, but it's okay for JLA.
That's a few times Benny Henschel's now probed, got into the keyway, and good things have happened. I think they'll live out of him getting in a pick and roll situation.
There, but it'll be finished with a big dunk at the other end, Delaney. Gee, looks like a playoff player, doesn't he, Finn Delaney? So much confidence in his game. That was a great pass too. Henschel handing it off, and he's hurt.
He's got a problem.
He has got a real problem. He's landed awkwardly there, or has he done his hammy? Went down, landed awkwardly. Wagstaff's going to come on. Here we go again on the Army replay. Just caught one from behind from Doyle, and then grabbed the hamstring area, the back of the leg. Hanley's going to go and have a look. But the two will count. Still at 5 points, 3 minutes remaining to half-time. Doyle, Edwards running around is Walker, floating one either for the basket or Big Jesse.
They look sharp now on the offensive end with this 5 on the floor.
Too little through the legs. He says, I'm going to go myself, then hand it off to JLA. There's a foul there. And JLA Latul will go to the line.
Excellent call, as Edwards didn't have his arms vertical. Get some contact on JLA as he goes up to finish. Both teams are finding some offensive efficiency and productivity late in this second quarter.
Doesn't make the play, has struggled this season, and in particular in the last 11 rounds. I think he's shooting at only 50% from the free throw line. Is Jalawala Chula somehow slots that over the top of the long arms.
This is a very tough lineup on the floor right now for United. You got two outstanding creators in Walker and Doyle.
There's no foul there. They let that one go. Jalawala Chula wants a break. Delaney, pass inside. They are scoring. They're up and about and they're pumped. It's do or die, and United have struck a blow. As we approach half-time, they're 48-39, big lead, biggest of the game.
Yeah, the tempo is absolutely killing the Wildcats right now. They're moving the ball whatever they like. And just Edwards rolling every time. This flattens out the defense, and it's creating for everyone else.
And Dean Vickerman with a master stroke 2 minutes ago by bringing Golding, Delaney, and Edwards back into the basketball game. They've scored on every possession since those guys re-entered the contest.
The analogy we used to use was take the air out of the ball. Let's try and slow this down completely. And that might mean defensively the Wildcats have to sprint back to half court and then say, okay, let's try and make it a half court game again, because right now transition is killing them.
Well, that spread of scorers for United is good too. 7 for Walker, 7 for Delaney, 8 for Edwards. He's played limited minutes, but he's been very valuable when he's been on the court. Golding with the 7 and 5 for Krislovic. Benny Henschel leading the assists, but it's the fouls that are causing Perth a lot of headaches at the moment. They're in deep trouble, and they got Windler sitting on the bench with 3.
Well, one of the things, Damo, that Perth has tried to do that they don't look entirely comfortable doing is extending the pressure up the floor. And I'm not sure they probably have had ample opportunity to train it and drill it enough because of the injury situation they've been dealing with all season.
They've been doing it after free throws, but you're right, off the back of missed shots. You know, they need to fall back, or they've got to at least get Duke Jr., the fastest player on their team, picking up the point guard so that they can't get blown by.
Annalie Bailey was listening in to John Riley. Have you got an update for us on Ben Henschel, Annalie?
Yeah, that injury looks like a contact injury. Just copped a knee to the back of the hammy. He waved off the medical staff pretty aggressively. He said, I'm fine, just give me a second. And then that timeout, a lot of press break being drawn up, and then he said he wants the bigs to go to work, try and draw some fouls, and then encouraged his 4 men to look big to big. Look at your buddy, he said, look high-low. Yeah, that was the main message.
Here's Edwards to Doyle. The pass. Edwards wasn't watching on that occasion. He was ready for the rebound. He thought Milton's going to shoot this.
Well, still a young player, Jesse Edwards. You got to understand, you got to keep some type of vision of the basketball, whether it's direct or indirect, and then Delaney will be blown for a foul there, and now he's down. Might be a little contusion-type injury for Delaney. He'll try and shake it off. Both teams in foul trouble in this quarter. A lot of free throws being attempted. Yeah, a knee to the inside of the right thigh.
He doesn't look too bad, though. There's a little limp there, but he'll be back on. Half-time not too far away. Maybe rest up, get a bit of work done.
Here we go.
He's playing so well. 7
3 on
points.
him.
Yeah.
3 on him as well, so they're not going to risk him picking up a fourth with that sore knee, and only 90 seconds before half.
Junior misses the first.
Wildcats have been getting to the line. After this next free throw, they will have attempted 18. They're not shooting it at a great clip, only 65%. Now 66%.
And there's John Rillie. Of course, today, the first time the Wildcats have hosted a one-game sudden death playoff since 2009. Back in that year, John Rillie hit 10 three-pointers to get the Crocs over the line in a massive game. Homicide, the late Homicide, was a superstar in that particular game. Walker, nice basket. He's made some big plays here this evening.
Great behind the back snap dribble to create separation. Terrific balance as he elevates into that mid-range jumper.
No hands there. A little fumble from JLA under the boards. 50-42. Edwards looks for the handoff. Walker being terrific. 9 points to his name. Keen to add to it. Passing, though, terrific. Cole Bowen in the corner. Little firm. Little takes the rebound. They need to score here, Perth. Keep the pressure up going into halftime. All over him. Doolittle just under pressure. A loose shot, and now United can make it a big, big quarter, although JLA has done a bit of swatting. There's going to be a foul, though, before that on Wagstaff.
Jesse Edwards has been doing a good job around the rim on penetration and getting whatever rebounds he can. He's got 8 points and 4 boards in just 9 minutes.
And there's a tech foul.
Technical foul. Red 5.
Wow.
On Christian Doolittle. They've lost the plot at the moment, Perth. 50-42. Doolittle gets the tech foul. The coach has already had a warning. And the team in red is seeing red at the moment as Melbourne United chalk up more points with 24 seconds remaining before half-time. It's one man you wouldn't want to cross. And this has been a big, big second term. 32 points in this term for Melbourne United. And just the 20 for Perth.
This is exactly what they did Thursday night, where they had a big offensive second period to take control of that game. And seemingly on the same course.
And Doyle drops in another. 11 points now. Perth with the last basket, you'd have to say. More chance for a basket. Doolittle with Daniels all over him. He awaits for some movement. The pass. Joe Luala-Chul, that was goods. He was under enormous pressure. Milton Doyle shooting. Milton Doyle just missing. Well done, though, to United. They really stood up to the test in that second term. And they lead it here at halftime, 53-44. The whole team putting in a great effort. I mean, that spread of scorers, no one in double figures for United's. Well, all about the place.
A great move midway through that second quarter where Vickerman brought in those 3 players that really change this game. But Damo, right now, United has a 25-15 advantage on the rebounding count.
All right, let's go to Annalie, courtside.
Right now, you guys have a huge rebounding advantage. Rock just said it was 25-15. Was that a focus coming into the game tonight?
It always is. You know, that's one of our staples. We came out here and want to be physical. And yeah, that's definitely one of our game plans.
Speaking of the physicality, how is your body holding up? We know you had some back issues leading into tonight's game.
We have some great physios. We have some great staff. They've been taking care of me very well, so feeling good.
And then what do you think will be the main message in halftime, the main point coming out of that?
Make sure we maintain this, no let up at all. Like you said, rebounding and definitely on the defensive end, no let up on anything.
Best of luck.
Jesse Edwards 8 and 4 to start this game. 53-44 is the score. So much to do for the Perth Wildcats. United, though, they'll be happy with their first half performance. Back with more in a moment.
Welcome back to RAC Arena, where Melbourne United a 9-point lead to the Perth Wildcats. Jesse Edwards going upstairs, Pepper stepping back. An action-filled first half and a big second half to come. What's John Rillie and Dean Bickerman got in their bag? Because one team, their season will end tonight, and one, will they get to advance to be beaten by the Sydney Kings based on what we saw in that first half? Because at times it wasn't pretty, was it?
Scrappy first half, man, and both teams made some mistakes. Neither team shooting the ball extremely well. But look, you spoke about emotions. Dean Vickerman probably has more emotions than any other players himself. So if he can get these guys fired up, then they can come out in that second half and play a little bit better.
And look, Perth made a few mistakes, but I liked when they started to get after the ball. So I picked out some clips from the first half that I want to quickly go through here, and you'll see them when you talk about what the Perth Wildcats need to do better, right? So Jesse Wagstaff, when he steps onto the floor, as this play goes, he's different than JLA. He doesn't stay in the deep drops. They start to ramp up and get after a ball screen. We know Tyson Walker likes to use the ball screen. So here comes Jesse Wagstaff. They get after it, and then everybody's moving, helping. You want to pick your poison here. Right now, a little short close out there on Dash Daniels. They're going to live with that every day of the week. What started to hurt them was they started to go back to this deep drops for JLA right here. You see here, it's really a passive defense where they can get what they want. You get a little screen there, and then Tyson Walker's just going to play one-on-one and get to his spot. He knocked it down. The same thing happened with Chris Golding just before. When they get after it defensively, they're a much better unit. Otherwise, it's just too passive.
And it's fixable stuff for the Perth Wildcats right now. There's not alarm bells, of course, trailing by 9, but a lot of the stuff you mentioned there, is it fixed?
Well, in the first 8 minutes or something, they started to really get after it. Then they were passive, and I think if they can just start to ramp it, they're going to have to right now because they're behind the 8 ball. And to be honest, Christian Doolittle looks banged up. Everyone looks a little sore, so it makes it harder to get after.
I don't see that hunger from the Perth Wildcats. Whether you know it or not, if you lose, you're done. So you better pick it up right
It doesn't have the feel of a survive advance game right now for both
right.
teams. There's not that sort of aggression. Now, Jesse Edwards, the big inclusion for this game, missed the game against Tassie where they didn't look that good. They look far better when he's on the floor.
He looks really good. And for someone who was a game-time decision, moving free, 8 and 4, probably doesn't do it justice to how effective he's been. Yes, JLA's managed to score against him, but even these possessions where you look like you're going to get past your initial defender and he's there, not just blocking, but sometimes altering the shots. If Melbourne United want to actually give this thing a shake, he needs to continue to play.
Absolutely. He has the size and the ability to score the ball, throw it inside to him. He's probably going to dunk it like this on somebody's head. So you bring that in, your field goal percentage is a whole lot better.
And by the sounds of that halftime interview, he's doped up on the meds, I believe. So hopefully he's still going to be 100% if they advance through this. But let's have a look at the road to the championship because it's been hurting my head all week trying to work this out. But right now, as you say, it's a very, very simple equation. The winner of this game will go on to play the juggernaut that is the Sydney Kings. I would say everyone would agree the best team in the competition at the moment.
Who are sitting at home waiting, though. And sometimes when you're waiting like that, you don't come out that first game and play like everyone expects you to.
We've been trying to hype that up, right? Because you only have to beat them twice rather than getting a little bit of a tune-up and you have to beat them 3 times in a championship series.
Here's where you see them right there. They are the benchmark at the moment, firing on all cylinders. The synergy. Kendrick Davis scorned from MVP night.
I reckon he's coming out rolling.
He wants that matchup with Bryce Cotton in the finals to be able to prove himself. We've got a second half coming up next, not far away.
Welcome back to Perth. 53-44 is the score. Hungry Jacks highlights, and there's been plenty, especially in the second half for Melbourne United. They've come to town and they put it right up the Wildcats in a do-or-die clash. Winner goes on, loser says goodbye to the season. So much on the line. Sydney Kings awaiting one of these two teams. And Derek Rucker, as I said, 53-44. It's been intriguing, but United, as we know, are star-studded.
And they are, but Christian Doolittle has had an outstanding first half, in particular the first quarter. As we look at his Blackmore's player profile, 12 points, 3 of 7 from the field. But I thought in that second quarter they went away from him, firstly, and secondly, he wasn't as aggressive seeking the basketball. It is imperative in this second half that he really have an impact and be aggressive, take on more risk, particularly now that you're down 9 points.
Got himself a tech foul as well, Damian Martin, so he's nice and fired up, is Christian Doolittle. Usually when he fires up, though, he starts to play some pretty good basketball, although 12 points is pretty decent. JLA's the other one, Joe Lawala-Chul. So much pressure on him in this game in particular. 13 points to his name, 3 rebounds. It's almost hard to say, but they need more from him.
Well, as good as Christian Doolittle was in the first quarter, JLA picked up the slack in the second quarter. He was fantastic. He started to get the ball going, and once he gets into that baby hook, as we see him doing it from both ends with a huge block shot there, but once he gets the ball in hand, he starts feeling pretty good about himself when he can get it to that baby hook, when no one can compete above the ring, especially when Edwards is off. JLA, Christian, they're doing their part for the Wildcats, but they need someone else. Yeah. They need a supporting cast, which we haven't seen so far.
So plus minus, Elijah Pepper minus 20 in this game, Ben Henschel minus 17. One of those two and or a Dylan Windler need to stand up if Perth are going to get back into this game. Otherwise, it's Melbourne going all the way to Sydney.
And Melbourne did a really good job in the second quarter, especially on the offensive end. They put a lot of pressure on the Wildcats. They've dominated with 32 points in the paint compared to the Wildcats' 18, and that's coming in a variety of ways. Attacks on the rim by Walker and Doyle, lobs to Edwards, and Delaney's been really effective. Right now, in these first 3 to 4 minutes, the Wildcats need to reestablish themselves on the defensive end.
Let's go to Annalie, who is listening to Dean Vickerman, has some details.
Yeah, look, he spent the last 30 seconds talking about that the Wildcats are probably going to look to punch the ball inside via Doolittle and via JLA. He said we need to make a crowd come off the non-shooters, which I'm not really seeing any out there right now, but come off the non-shooters, make sure we make a dig at the ball, make it tough for them to pick up, and let's make those touches hard so as the game goes on, they don't get their confidence going up. He spoke about the left shoulder of JLA and how they just need to keep the ball out of the paint so they don't get confidence.
Good on you, Adelaide. Nice summary there. 53-44 is the score. She's up and about. She starred last weekend.
Yeah.
She had nearly a triple-double.
Smooth.
Could have been a little more team-orientated. Just only had, I think, 6 assists.
And right now, Damo, I'd be interested to hear your theory. I wouldn't have minded going with Duke Jr. here instead of Windler, with Windler having 3 fouls.
And the tempo that Duke Jr. provides, it's almost like John doesn't want to see or play Benny Henschel and David Duke Jr. together. I think they're more than capable of complementing each other. You've got 2 ball handlers out there. Benny can spread the ball, David can spread it. And on cue, though, that's why he's out there.
Well, nice bucket there with his right hand. And Duke Jr. also has 3 fouls, but I just think that Windler is probably going to be more important to try and win this basketball game and deserves a little bit more protection. But he knocks down his first one.
Golding shot won't go. Bowen tried to pass in mid-air. He shoots again, Chris. This time couldn't make it go. There was lots of holding on there.
Now, Dean Vickerman has altered his starting lineup. He's taken out Krislovich. Instead, has put Bowen in there as Doolittle gets to work.
He's going to work now, the Duke. Back-to-back points for Perth. They trimmed it back to 5.
And Finn Delaney hasn't come out to start this quarter either for United.
Had the foul trouble as well. He was on the 3.
Well, he also took that hit to his right thigh.
True. Couple of misses. A bit of momentum here for Perth. And I would have liked to have seen the score. I should have written it down, but when Windler, there's a push off there. That's going to be a foul. That's 4.
And that's exactly what I was talking about. You had to protect him.
Wow, that's early.
43.
So he's going to have to come out. Here it is here, just to the right hands.
And look, Golding is an experienced player. He sells it enough to put pressure on the referee to make the call. The referee makes the call.
Made the call. Finals basketball, we've seen a lot go.
Right.
Go uncalled that was worse than that, that's for sure. But
Bowen's
smart
basket
play.
doesn't go. Pepper. Now to Windler. Duke Jr.'s ready to come on for him. Windler gets around Golding, then loses possession. He shouldn't foul there. He was tempted to throw one in there. Walker gathers, in motion, shoots the three. That was a great shot.
Well, he's been watching Chris Golding. Nice little no-dip shot there from the Walker. Woo!
Doolittle's, he's in mood at the moment. He's in a real bad mood, the dude.
This is what I'm talking about, Lockie. Sometimes when the system isn't doing it for you, you got to go out there and make it happen yourself when you have his talent.
Pass is good. Edwards worked hard. Good little pass from Bowen. So Doolittle's just looking at Bowen and saying, if you can go with me, good luck. And they should just keep going now to Doolittle. Chul, bit of contact, didn't matter. So Perth are on a roll, but they still haven't really trimmed the margin enough to put a lot of pressure on United's.
No, both teams are finding easy baskets out there right now to start the second half, but defensively, neither can get stops.
Here's Doolittle again, hovering his Windler. Pass is good. Henschel goes inside.
Wow,
A bit of holding.
Calling that foul is so poor. They have the advantage inside. Let it go. That's an easy layup for JLA. I just hate that type of call, Damo.
Yeah, great post up. Good feed by Benny Henschel. No call needed. It would have resulted in 2 points. And I want that going both ways. I just think it's better for the game to play through it.
So Duke Jr.'s in. Pass was a dangerous one. Well stolen by Bowen. JLA just tangled up.
It's on the ball.
Gee, they've had some bad fouls, haven't they, Perth?
Hold.
They've been very, very ill-disciplined. Move your feet. That's what I was told back in the under-12s, D-Ruck.
Well, in that position there, JLA needs to be in full retreat mode anyway. And you got to turn your hips and sprint.
Lockie, you were actually told dust off the cement from the bottom of your shoes.
Mate, I was on the bench. There was no way I was even part of the action. Chul, move your feet to the other side, mate, and someone comes and has a rest. Doolittle against Bowen again. And there's a foul.
That's a tough matchup for Kyle Bowen. And I wouldn't be surprised if Dean Vickerman makes the change, because Doolittle right now is starting to feel at 16 points. Shooting it at a high clip, and you can just tell by the way he's moving, Damo. He's ready to cook anybody in front of him.
I'm just going to throw out a player, and I don't know if any of you remember the footage, but Mika Vukona was the best overplayed against Andrew Bogut right up there, Matty Knight. That if someone got going that they weren't guarding, they pretty much were guarding the player they had, but also the guy was hot. And so right now, they've got to find that within Melbourne. Whoever's guarding Christian Doolittle has got to know they've got support behind him, because right now, it doesn't matter who's guarding him. He's seeing it as one-on-one, and that favours him every time.
So Delaney's come on, but he's got the foul trouble. So do they throw him on to Doolittle, or do they find somebody else?
Well, especially since he hasn't actually been in the game for about 20 to 25 real-time minutes. So test him, see if he's back into the swing of things yet.
Might have to go to the youngster in Dash Daniels. There's Chul defensively being really aggressive. With a couple of fouls to his name. Daniels throws it up underneath the hoop. Good rebound. Feeding it back out. Delaney with 10 on the shot clock. Was tempted to give it to Walker. In the end, Milton Doyle says, give it to me. I like a last-second shot, and he shoots and can't make it go.
United still hurting the Cats on the offensive board. They've got 11.
A steal? No. Doolittle again. He'll really charge at Delaney now. Pass is good. That one could go, though. There's a foul. Edwards, a little push on Duke. Everything going Perth's way, but still they trail by 4.
But even that last play in the ISO with Doolittle on Delaney, Delaney did a pretty good job defensively, but Doolittle was able to just move Jesse Edwards a little bit to create a nice opportunity on that little floater there from JLA.
There's JLA now. He's a long way outside the key. Kislovich will stand up to him. Oh, he's feeling it. Joe Luala-Chul's taking responsibility along with Doolittle. They know what's on the line. It's do or die. Big block from Duke. Back to two. Doolittle. Delaney. The Do. We're right behind it. Crowd going nuts. And the Do staring his teammates down. 59-58, Tangerine timeouts. Wildcats have worked their way back into the game. It's game on again.
Christian Doolittle really come out trying to make a case in that third quarter. Good defense there by Duke Jr. And then Delaney's out on the island in slow transition. That's tough. Snatch back three ball. Doolittle, 21 points.
Have a look at that, the Duke. He's had a big impact in this third term. John really revving up his troops. And it's a 1 point margin, Damien Martin.
It's a 1 point margin.
On this next one.
Well, listen to Dean Bickerman
And
here,
then
though.
we've got to make Henny guard. If there's anything later in the clock, you have to run Henny in it and set it and then attack him. Here we go.
I'm not sure what he's called of his players there, but I think 5 of the last 6 possessions, the Melbourne United team have let a three-pointer fly. They haven't seen them drop yet. A lot of them are good looks with the quality of shooters they've got, but right now I want to see them try and get into the paint, get back in that pick-and-roll situation, and put some pressure on the Perth Wildcats defenders in the key.
Jesse Wagstaff coming back onto the court. Tamo, he's had such an amazing season that not one person's spoken about whether this is his last game. And it possibly could be.
And this is in reference to Jesse Wagstaff.
Yeah, Jesse Wagstaff.
I was at the movies earlier today watching
hang on.
GOAT.
Yes.
They've drawn up a play. Let's see if they can execute. I'll get back to the Wagstaff
Okay, I want
story.
to know about the movies. Somehow the pass went into the hands of Chris Hilovich, and
On cue, Jesse's got that foul, so
he's got a foul.
you're spot on. For a couple of years, there was questions asked, is this his last season? This is the first time in probably the last 3 or 4 I haven't had anyone ask me that. But as I said, I was at that Steph Curry movie, GOAT, great animation.
Right,
I was there with my daughter, Fire's daughter, Wagstaff's kids, and then I just cheekily asked the kids, hey, is this Dad's last year? Like, we don't know, we don't think so. His daughter's wanting to play on, so I think it's deserving if he goes one more.
Yeah, oldest player in playoffs, Jesse Wagstaff. Lots of handling there. That one won't go. Kislovich working hard, so too is Jesse. And he's looking sore. He's landed awkwardly.
Takes his leg out.
And he is down.
Kislovich is the man who was fouling, and Jesse is slow to get up here.
Well, some awkward action down low once he secures his basketball, and Krislovich dives at his knee. And a play like this is quite reckless. We know Krislovich is always going to play hard. No real malice. But yes, a careless attempt to try and get the basketball, and Wagstaff.
He'll stretch it out. Nico is looking after him. Yeah, it is amazing, isn't it? I mean, every year for the last 3 or 4, we've said, could this be it? Could Jesse be finishing up? But this year, I've gone through the whole week and not one person's asked me, do you think this is his last game?
Well, I don't mind admitting, and I've shared this story before, about 4 years ago, I bought him a nice little retirement present thinking this is it, and about 6 months later I drank it. So,
He's retiring, there's no present. There's no present. All right, here we go. 1 point the margin. Jesse's up and about. Everything on the line for these two teams. Henschel stepping away, shooting for 3, doesn't make it go. Look at Pepper. Oh, Jesse's pushed him out of the way. Loose pass, quick hands, Doyle. Into the corner it goes, Krebs. Now to walk up. Doesn't make it go. They've got the momentum now, Perth. This man has been scintillating in the third. Delaney stands him. Doolittle shoots. It's tapped away into the hands of Henschel. It'll be okay. Came off some hands. Doolittle again. He's going to back in and either try and draw the foul. That is a big foul. Delaney wants Dean Vickerman a look, but Dean won't be trusting him this time.
Well, he can't. They're out of challenges. But Delaney now, who has withstood a lot of offensive aggression from Delaney over the past few possessions, did a really good job. But over time, you just can't keep taking the hits, Damo. It's hard to defend a high-level player like Christian Doolittle without fouling.
He's made a career in the NBL of getting to the spots that he wants, taking as much time as he needs, playing with as much physicality to bump his defender lower and lower and lower until he's ready to shoot that mid-range or just off the block. But did you hear that ovation as the veteran was subbed out? A couple of great minutes there from Jesse. He'll go to the bench now, but you're spot on, Ruck. I want to see the rest of the Melbourne United defenders collapse more and more, get closer to Christian because he has taken this game over in the second half.
Well, the goal is to discourage him when he's faced up and ready to attack the basket. Don't show any seams. And right now, you just got to fully sell defensively in on Christian Doolittle.
Well, the Wildcats are 5 of 15 from behind the three-point line. 3 of those have come from Christian. So only 2 made three-pointers from the rest of the Wildcats. I'll be sagging right off and challenge him to say, okay, let's see you let it fly from behind the three-point line.
Some fancy footwork here. That was a fantastic move. Edwards is big and strong and working really hard under the hoop for the 2.
Wow, he dropped that thing down.
Tyson Walker's game's been good too. He's at 12 points. Been very productive for his team. Duke Jr. looking outside. Pepper for 3. Rattles around. Joloala-Chul grabs it, throws it up and throws it in.
Massive offensive rebound there from JLA. Melbourne will be very upset about that because they got the look they probably wanted to give up, getting the ball out of Christian's hand but not being able to get a stop and run the other way.
Needing some action from Milton Doyle. He's only got the 5 points to his name. Krebs can also get on a hot streak. Into the corner he goes. Krislovic will shoot, and that one was loose. Pepper on the charge. He's very keen, not lacking in confidence. Elijah Pepper, it was blocked. Doolittle fumble. Now puts it on the floor. Decides not to go himself. Gives it to his other man, Joloala-Chul.
Right now it's the JLA and Doolittle show. They've combined for 43 of the Wildcats 64. Momentum turning more heavily in the favor of the Wildcats. Krebs steps back.
Oh, that's
out a
nice.
big-time 3.
That is nice. Great response. 1 point the margin. Nice call too, D-Ruck. Look at him up and about. Closing in three-quarter time. We knew it was going to be tight. Everything is on the line. Doolittle finds an opening, then loses possession. And it's still a catch ball.
Absolutely not. Absolutely not.
Here we go, let's go.
Well, they don't have any challenge left.
They don't have a challenge, as you said. And a delay of the game as well for Melbourne United. Did look like it came out of Doolittle's hands, but we move on. Lob pass, Joloala-Chul. Henschel. Gee, he's been aggressive, hasn't he?
Well, the confidence is up. He had a strong first quarter where he had good looks but wasn't able to finish effectively. But now he's seen the ball go through the hoop on a regular basis, and he's brought his off-the-bounce game alive and attacks Edwards there. If JLA can pull Edwards out onto the floor, I don't think Edwards can do a good job on him defensively, Dane.
Well, JLA goes right, previous possession, now he goes to the left. He's just such a hard matchup when he's feeling this confident, and he has no hesitation putting the ball on the floor despite being 7 foot. As you see the first one.
And this is where he's really struggled. Just the 50% in his last 11 rounds of basketball for Joloala-Chul.
And that's tough because when you play around the hoop, fouls will happen and you'll get to the line a lot. He's already shot 4 in this game, successful in only 1.
He gets the second though. 2-point ball game. Under 2 to go to three-quarter time. Milton Doyle. Edwards to Krebs. Shooting away. And lots of rebounders there for the Perth Wildcats.
He's got to get it up.
Just got it over the line. To Doolittle. Barely a minute off the court for Christian Pepper. That one misses.
Again, Damo, with Christian Doolittle and JLA going off right now, that is a poor decision by Elijah Pepper. He's got to probe, look to get to the rim, otherwise move the basketball right now.
Chance here for United. Maybe take the lead. Golding. And that's a foul for Joe. He's got the 3 now, I think, to Joe Lawala-Chul.
There you go. One again. 4. 5. One more. Yeah, 4.
And the sub, Jesse Wagster.
I know. 2 shots. Yeah, because we get confused.
So, yeah.
Mick.
Still,
Mick.
they're on 4 at the moment. The referees thought it was the 5th foul, but still on 4. But Melbourne United are on 5.
And good minutes there by David Duke Jr., who is a +10 in this game. But John really making a smart decision to get him off the floor, protect him. He's got 3 fouls. And with Windler on 4, you can't afford to have Duke Jr. pick up another one here.
Golding, Henschel. This is going up. It has to go up. Stepping back under pressure. Can't make it go. There's good defense from Ben Henschel. Here he goes again. Bowen and Doolittle. He's charging in. Joe Lawala-Chul. That one was off targets. Noisy inside ROC Arena. Not a huge crowd, but they're up and about. They know what's on the line for their team. Milton Doyle spinning, working hard, then blocks. Joe's got 3 blocks. He's been a demon on the defensive ends. .12 on the shot clock. 4-second differential. Screen set, Doolittle will creep around. Under pressure, shoots and misses, but he'll go to the line. He's been unstoppable this quarter. When the ball has been in his hands, they have had no answer.
Well, he's 6 of 11, and he's got 22 points. And when you look at dominant players that are remaining in this postseason, you look at Nathan Sobey, Kendrick Davis, Bryce Cotton, and Christian Doolittle is right there with his ability to take over basketball games. And right now, he needs to go NBA great man mode. Shoot the ball on almost every possession when you have the opportunity. You got to be selfish. If you're not selfish, you're hurting your basketball team.
Well, I was listening to Peter Hooley in the pre-game show, and when he was asked for his prediction for the outcome, he went with the Wildcats simply because he believed the best player on the floor today is Christian Doolittle, so he was going to back the home team in off the back of that.
He's got 24 to his name. Chance here. Walker's quick, he's nippy. He'll get the shot up and it won't go. 4 points will be Perth's lead with 1 quarter to go. It's do or die. More to come after the break.
welcome back to RAC. We are heading into the fourth quarter. It's 67-63, Perth lead. It's win or go home. The tensions are so high in here right now. Christian Doolittle and JLA just went to work in that last quarter. With foul trouble in the Melbourne camp, we have not seen Finn Delaney at all in that third term. Dean Rickermans is asking his team to stop with the ISO ball because they cannot score when that happens. So more ball movement and no more ISO ball, and that's what we're going to see in this quarter from Melbourne United.
Nice work, Anneli. You're up and about. Good to hear. Doolittle with 12 points in that third quarter. Milton Doyle throws it up, can't make it go, gets it back again, slots in the 2. Wildcats 23-10 in that third term. It was a good fight back, but it's all on the line right now for these two teams. Henschel shooting a quick one. Wagstaff with the boards. And they'll reset.
You mentioned Jesse with that offensive rebound. Going into halftime, the Wildcats were down 15-25 on the rebound count. Off the back of that offensive rebound, they've now taken the lead 33-32 on the board. That third quarter was all about the possession game. They came up with the rebounds. Melbourne only got one look at the ring each possession.
And Melbourne United are 5 of 25 from the three-point line. Golding and Milton Doyle haven't been able to find the accuracy. And both those guys are more than capable of turning that switch just a red hot, fast.
7 points for Milton Doyle. 7 for Delaney coming off a 33-point game. It's been up to Edwards and Walker both with 12. They're the only two players for United in double figures as Duke Jr. slots in 2 more. Last time they played here in Perth, it was a 1-point win for United. Krislovic with it to Doyle. Seems to be their go-to man at the moment. They need him to start firing up. Windler takes the board. He's on the 4 fouls.
Doyle's been getting to his spots all night. Just hasn't closed the deal.
Pass is good. Doolittle to Wagstaff.
Doolittle just devastating off the bounce.
With the 4 assists as well as scoring high points, and it's still a Melbourne ball.
Krislovic was yelling out for the foul.
Would have been Windler's 5th if that was the case.
Got to be careful, Dylan Windler. So too Finn Delaney, and a blocking foul on Jesse. He just waits there.
And that was a Jesse Wagstaff special. I'm shocked he didn't get the call.
They're going to challenge it.
So we're going to challenge it. We are challenging. So as we await the challenge, the timeouts, a challenge. Emily Bailey, you've got a question for the boys next to me.
I do. So Dylan Windler out there with 4 fouls right now. Why do you think Melbourne United is not going at him straight away? He can't defend if he wants to stay out there, so shouldn't that be a play drawn up, you think, off the bat?
Well, he nearly got called for his 5th one before on Krislovic. Oh, we'll just go back to his challenge. I'm going to go ahead and say they might be successful. He's picked it, taken it on the chest. Rucker, quick one before I go back to Annalise.
I agree with you.
We both think they're going to be successful. But no, Annalise, I completely agree. The reality is sometimes that's easier said than done when it's a perimeter player that's more than happy to switch in any pick and roll situations or different situations, which would usually mean you've got to get in a stance and guard. If they play a bit of isolation ball, is that necessarily the style of play you want at that end? Oh, we're wrong there.
Yeah.
Rucker, you
went too early. You should have held on.
Good try.
Just dragged out the conversation a bit more.
Didn't I, Emma?
Unsuccessful, 6 points to margin.
And that will be Jesse Wagstaff's 4th foul.
Would it be overtime?
Yes.
So, of course, here's your chance to win a Mitsubishi Outlander LS Black Edition, plus more and $45,000 worth in additional prizes. Here's how you do it. Take note of the code word on your screen. Now, scan it, QR code there, or visit nbl.com.au/win-a-car. Enter the code word. The code word is drive, and you can be in with a chance to win a Mitsubishi Outlander LS's. Josh Daniels has it. Krislovic's shot is very short. Fumble. Windler will pick up the crumbs.
He hit a 9-iron when he should have hit a 6.
The old Mitsubishi. We love the Mitsubishi, Damo. Very good car. As Duke Jr. just throws it up. Joe is strong, and the refs are all over this. There'll be a foul.
And Damo, I got on Elijah Pepper about poor shot selection. I'm going to do the same thing with David Duke Jr. there. If you're trying to have an opportunity where you can provide a pass to either Doolittle or JLA, and right here, just really not a good angle to try and finish that shot. Got fortunate, though. JLA cleaned it up on the glass as he is short and to the left, Lockie, with that first free throw attempt.
Yeah, he's 2 of 5 at the moment from the line.
Playing devil's advocate to your comment there, Derek. Sometimes you are told, though, as a guard, as you know, that if you do draw the big into it, just get it up. It's either going to be in or you've got your big man rolling and might potentially only have a guard trying to box him out.
Valid.
So out to 7, United with some work to do. Walker, been one of their best players, a little out of control. Delaney has to put it on the floor, back out to Walker. 5 on the shot clock, got to go to work now. Duke Jr. stands him, and he was off balance badly. Forward for Windler. .7:44 remaining, and 7 points to margin. Henschel, aggressive. Dean Vickerman keen for Melbourne to huddle up.
Here we go.
Tough take there by Henschel, but he gets Edwards in a tough situation. And he's long, athletic, draws the contact off of Doyle.
He's been really good in the pick and roll situation, Benny. Whether it's dropping off to JLA, kicking it out, or as we see they're attacking the rim. Good things have come with ball in hand and JLA sending screens.
And check this out, Dama. In the second half, Melbourne United only have 7 rebounds. And Perth have done a number on them in the first 13 minutes of this second half.
Just scored the 12 points as well, the 10 in the third term, and only 12 in total in this second half as Henschel gathers. Will he go all the way? He might just hold it up. Doolittle's off to the corner, but he decides to...
Should have gone at Delaney there. Delaney with 4 fouls. You got to attack him in a one-on-one situation.
No score for Doolittle.
No basket. Black 43.
Golding called for that one. A little bit of holding.
Right now, Dean Vickerman's got to find some offensive punch. Might have to come back with Krebs.
Pass is good. Windler being aggressive, and that'll be a Wildcats ball. Nearly a steal there for Milton Doyle.
Only 4 left on the shot clock here, so we'll see what the Wildcats can go to in their little playbook.
74-65 to score. The pass to Windler. Duke Jr. sees an opening. The 2 points is his.
That's where his size comes into play. Just too big for Tyson Walker.
Quick pass. Delaney. Golding need him to fire. Edwards up against Joe Luala-Chul. Can't make the play. Defense has been enormous from Joe. Henschel waits for Joe to get into the front court.
Mismatch. Golding on Doolittle. They don't see it and turn it over.
It was nearly a foul for Doolittle, and there's lots of pushing. It's going to go against Jesse Edwards. So it's 76-65. Joe Luala-Chul's defence. I mean, we're going on about Christian Doolittle, and he has been superb, but the defensive end, he has been an absolute demon, hasn't he?
Well, he certainly has, and now he's got a distinct advantage on the offensive end because both Melbourne big men who are in the game right now possess 4 fouls. And with 6 minutes to go, I'm not sure which way Dean Vickerman goes, if he can afford to leave both those guys in the game right now, Damo.
Well, you mentioned the rebounding, Lockie, before, and a big part of it is they've only got one player trying to crash the offensive ball. When they watch the video and review it, I think they're going to see multiple possessions with only an Edwards or only Delaney in there. With both those bigs on foul trouble, they're going to be even less aggressive trying to come up with O boards and win their team an extra possession. And they need to get some of their perimeter players going from behind the three-point line. Right now, they're 5 of 27. They are a very good three-point shooting team. It's not falling right now, but if they're going to go on to win this, I think we're going to need a Goulding or a Doyle, someone like that. High-caliber players, great shooters, they're going to need to step up.
So Windler to the line again. Knocks them both. This margin getting too big for United. We know they got the firepower, and they've still got plenty of time on the clock, but they need to get a wriggle on now. 13 points that margin. They've scored 2 in the 4 minutes in this term. Doyle, quick pass. Off the knee or the thigh of Delaney. And it's out of courts. That is quite amazing, isn't it? For a star-studded team like United, they've scored 12 points in half-time. It's 15 minutes, nearly 15 minutes of basketball. Windler blocked. Maybe now a charge. Doyle. Good hands from Duke Jr. though. He's happy with himself.
We can see because of the lack of offensive success in this second half, Doyle there wasn't playing aggressively and playing with force at the basket. And that comes from your confidence being rattled.
Goulding just shooting away now. Jolo Alachul heading towards a double-double.
Damo, at some point, you got to look at some alternatives. Those guys just aren't knocking down shots. I still maintain that Tanner Krebs is a good option right now, just to see if he can give you a couple of made threes.
Here's Windler looking to hand it off. Back out it comes. 3 on the shot clock. A long bomb from Dills. Look at the strut of the big man. 81-65. What a massive basket for Dylan Windler. He needed that up to 13 points, Derek Rucker.
Big time stroke. We've seen him do it throughout the course of the season. Windler playing through pain. Has been very good in this basketball game. 13 points and only 5 field goal attempts, 7 boards, 3 dimes.
It's a 6-point swing. Chris Goulding back at the ring. You back him to knock that down 9 times out of 10. He said that goes missing. Windler hits a huge 3.
So 81-65 is that score. 5 minutes still remaining. And United looking for someone to give them a bit of a spark. 12 points for Walker, 12 to Edwards for the visitors. 7, 7 and 7 for Goulding, Delaney and Doyle. .65 is the score. It's been a massive second half for the Perth Wildcats. But still 5 to go in this game. There's the Mitsubishi Motors 3-point leaders in this game in particular. Christian Doolittle is leading the way. Tyson Walker's game, he's been the best of United here this afternoon.
Well, we just saw Dylan Windler knock down a logo 3-ball. That was really loud.
Here's Edwards shuffling his way in. That basket doesn't go off the hands. Duke Jr. It'll come off the feet of Duke Jr. So, no.
Lockie, I think your initial call was correct. It looked like it came off of Duke Jr.'s foot first.
The answer to your question is still yes.
Interesting call, that one. Dean Bickerman, Annalie was hovering around the huddle. Annalie?
Oh, yeah, he looked at his players and he said, it is now and it has to be at both ends. He called on Finn Delaney to be way more aggressive offensively. He said, I need you and I need you to go now, both offensively and defensively. I don't care about that last foul. So we should be seeing a much more aggressive unit. But that one hurt.
Hard to be aggressive when the passes are so good down the court. Nearly trapped them in the corner. Here's Doyle. Finds some space. Doesn't come into the basket. Walker, they need this. Joe Luala-Chul, 1 away from a double-double. He's got 25 and 9. In fact, he's got 29 and 9 defensive and then 2 offensive, so he is on double-double. It's been a massive game. Also had the 3 blocks, and he's going to the line here to try and improve his percentage. That's the only negative in his game. He's sitting at 42% from the foul line.
And Damo, I'm sitting here stunned at the inability of Melbourne United to score the basketball. Only 12 points in 16 minutes in this second half. Just is an astoundingly low total from a Dean Vickerman coach team that is just loaded with talent.
And a team that won their first 9 games this season.
And they started the game so well also. It's not like it's been across the full 36 minutes of basketball so far, but they got cold and haven't been able to get out of it. And there's the occasional game during the season we have multiple players who just can't find the bottom of the ring. Unfortunately for them, it's been during a do-or-die game.
Well, in this quarter, it is 17-2. Yep.
Got to get a wriggle on now. Season on the line for United. Krebs. Chris Levitch will shoot. Doesn't go. Hands in there, but still, Windler gets it. Doolittle on Doyle. The double teams are coming at everyone. It's risky basketball for United. Henschel has had a better second half, was sluggish in the first. And this man's dominant all game. Sydney will be watching his performance. He just throws it up. Joe Luala-Chul gathers it and then loses possession. And Doolittle very frustrated at the moment. Doesn't realise his team's sitting at 84-65. He's a winner.
Well, 40-12 in the second half, Damo. And that's how you want a team to perform in the second half at home in an elimination game. And full credit to the Wildcats.
There's a 2. So still 3.5 to go. Newton Doyle will go to the line again. They need this one desperately. There was a bit more time on the clock, but we do remember Adelaide stormed home from a massive margin, so there's always nervous times inside the RAC Arena for the hometown fans of the Perth Wildcats. Here's Pepper to Windler, sets his feet, shoots, and scores the 3.
Full credit to Dylan Windler. Was not good in the seeding qualifier against Southeast Melbourne. Been struggling with that foot condition, but he's come out tonight. Another block shot by the Wildcats. 16 and 8 from Dylan Windler.
And Joe Luala-Chul has 4 block shots. Into the corner, Pepper shooting, Windler rebounding. Got a foot injury. He's battling through the pain. 87-68. Delaney sets his feet again, shoots. That's way off targets. That sums up his nights. Doolittle gives it to Joe. The 2 have been stars. Can they turn it up against Sydney as well? A big block shot, well done by Kusevich, just to keep him out of it. And we've got a timeout here for John Riley. Just to chat it over, 87-68 is that score. 2.5 remaining. Tangerine looking after us here in the NBL.
You know, I guess the writing may have been on the wall in terms of offensive production in this game when you review the Tasmania game, where Melbourne United got off to a slow start, but they only put 82 on the board. They never really looked like they were playing with any fluidity as we look at the road to the championship, and you can almost, well, in fact, they have. The production team has declared this one over, Lockie, and they've got...
Not quite.
Not quite. But I think
they could.
There used to be a question mark. I was there pretty. But anyway, it looks like the Perth Wildcats will advance and play the Sydney Kings. If they can put a little Perth Wildcats logo in that question mark, we'll have a real good idea of what's going to happen next. And just a great performance by Perth.
And are they a chance to really tease Sydney? I mean, Sydney have been superb in this back half of the season.
Sydney have been that and more. They really have been. They're deserving of finishing top of the table. They're deserving of being championship favourites. Game one, though, a midweek game on your home court. You've been rested for a little while. Can they come out and perform like we saw at the back end of the season, or can Wildcats get over there to the Harbour City and manage to snag a win, then try and close it out here? That is what happens in a best-of-3 series. Game one, so important.
Too little to Windler. Oh, did he travel? Doesn't matter. He shoots and he's fouled. Snuck around the corner, might have had an extra step or two there.
And this might be the biggest tick for the Perth Wildcats. Obviously got to take care of business and get the win. But Dylan Windler only had the 4 points in the first half. He's going to finish the game potentially with up to 20 with 3 free throws coming. He's already on 16 right now. But they need Dylan Windler in form if they're going to stand any chance against the Sydney Kings and the type of depth and the type of players that they have.
You could probably expect, not probably these big numbers from Joe Luala-Chul and Christian Doolittle, but they're the two stars. You'd think that Pepper, Windler, or even Henschel need to be in the mid-teens, don't they, to give himself any chance of beating the Kings.
Well, Henschel's been good defensively in this half. He came in to the half a -17. He is now a +12. And he's played a good role. Hasn't tried to overdo it offensively. He's only taken 3 shots. He hasn't hurt them with bad shots. He's just played a role and made sure he's gotten the ball to others. He's got 6 assists, Damo, and 6 rebounds.
It's over 20 now. Walker shooting. Lots of bodies flying everywhere. Back out it goes to Doyle. Crossover's good. And a foul on a 2. So he's getting into double figures now. He's up to 12.
In situations like this, when I was playing, you'd hear people from the Red Army yelling out, get Bryce off, game's over, rest him, don't risk an injury. Play Martin as much as you want, it doesn't matter if he gets hurt. I'm looking out there to Doolittle and Jay Olay.
Yeah.
Are you thinking the same thing?
It's time now, is it, to rest him?
Without a doubt, give them this last possession, next dead ball, get them out of the game. They've done their work. Combined for 50 points. Had a really good clip, and Doolittle was instrumental in just keeping them attached to Melbourne when United had it going in the first half. And then, of course, he was dominant in that third quarter.
Long pass over the top to Pepper. He's going to count it down and chew some time off the clock. Doolittle, will he be fouled? They've got to be careful. Pass is good. Joe Luala-Chul says, how did that not go in? He can't believe it, and now he has to go to the line. And United have gone to their bench. So they've called it, their season over. 89-71 is the score.
And there'll be no championship series this year for United, a franchise that has been soaked in excellence since Dean Vickerman took over. And sometimes, Damo, as we know, it just isn't meant to be your season. 2 super long Game 5 type seasons that probably just took its toll. And the players are different, but there's a fatigue that goes throughout the franchise.
The shot goes up. Bowen working hard. Melbourne on track at the moment for the fewest second half points ever in a finals game. And now they've just passed it, which is lucky. It was 19, Brisbane in 2019. They just stuck over the line with that long bomb.
And Damo, you've won so many championships. You know what it's like trying to come back and do it year after year. It's just highly improbable that you can get there every year, especially 3 years in a row.
The league is just so good. You can go and load up, whether it's bringing imports, whether it's returning Australians from college basketball, whatever it may be, to stay at the top for as long as Melbourne have or thereabouts. They're just an incredible organisation. They'll bail out a little earlier than they would have liked this season, but take nothing away from them, the players, the coaches. They're the envy of a lot of teams.
We're counting it down now, 91-74. Char will shoot away and shoot the 3. That's a big one. And Joe Luala-Chul will sit down now. What a magnificent performance for Joe Luala-Chul. 28 points. 12 rebounds, 4 block shots. JLA, just the second Wildcats player to have a tally like that. The only other one was James Crawford, did it twice back in 88-93. That's how good a game he had. Doolittle shooting. Quick passing, Macharo again will gather it and shoot again. Doolittle still playing out this game. He's a machine. Fans are wrapped. 30-odd seconds remaining in this game. Perth heads through to the semi-finals. These two teams were in the semis last year. Now they'll take on the Kings. This Sunday under a little bit of pressure. He drew the foul in the end. And hear the roar as this sub is made. Christian Doolittle will rest up. Kwaku Herg will come in. The big man's had a big game too.
Workhorse performance, Christian Doolittle. 24 points on 6 of 15 shooting, 7 rebounds, 6 assists. MVP level performance. Doolittle carries him into the semifinals.
28-24 for their big two. And Sunday drops in another one. Doolittle to rest up. He's got another game in a couple of days' time. And Sunday gets two. What a second half from the Perth Wildcats. United season started with so much promise. It ends in disappointment in the play-in. And Perth continue on, chasing an 11th championship. The Wildcats are still alive in the NBL. Next up, the Sydney Kings. 95-77, the final score. Big games from Joe Lawala-Chul, 28 points. Christian Doolittle with 24. What a massive performance. That second half was destructive from Perth.
Well, the Wildcats found their rhythm on both ends of the floor, but in particular, defensively, they just really shut Melbourne United down. Restricted them to only 19% from the three-point line. And in the second half, Damo, they absolutely crushed them on the rebounding count.
They were down 10 on the boards at halftime, and they go on to put in 53 to 39 if my math is quick enough to get that right. But that's a huge turnaround. They just won the possession game. You mentioned those two players who stepped up, but it's the role players who I thought started to complement them in the second half, which led to them building that lead. And unfortunately, Melbourne just could not find the bottom of the net. And multiple players who were accustomed to seeing scoring 10, 15, 20 points just unfortunately couldn't contribute in that aspect of the game.
The second half of the season, Melbourne United was really disappointing, wasn't it? They had little surges throughout, but after starting 9-0, you thought, wow, this team's going to be hard to catch, and there's certainties for the grand final series, how things can change.
The NBL is one of the most unforgiving leagues in the world, and you look at the struggles, the parity throughout the league, and injuries play a factor, but United, this is truly a surprising early exit for them. But nevertheless, they are a standard of excellence in Australian sport.
And at times I thought the Wildcats were actually playing a bit of hope defense. We hope you missed this three, we hope you missed this open jumper. And tonight was one of those nights that for about a 3-minute period, that's exactly what happened. They were missing, the Wildcats got the defensive rebound, went down and converted at the other end.
Good on you, Damo. Annalie is standing by. She's got the player of the game. It is Joe Lawala-Chul.
You were the only player in Wildcats history to ever have a stat line, 28-12 and 4 blocks. You were absolutely rolling tonight. What did it feel like there out tonight for your group?
I mean, it was do or die. And honestly, I felt like I kind of let my team down last game. So coming into this game, I was super dialed in, and I didn't want our season to end.
You guys had 3 players with 20 points or more. How big was Doolittle and Windler getting going tonight? How big was that for your group?
I would take me, Do, and Windler into any battle against any team every day of the week. I think we're the 3 best in the league.
And then how do you feel going into your next game with momentum like this? You guys outscored them like something ridiculous in the second half, so that momentum is important going into this weekend.
Yeah, I mean, we have nothing to lose, right? We've lost 3 games against Sydney. Everyone thinks they're going to win, so let's go see what happens.
Okay, so what's your message to the Sydney fans then?
I have no message.
Okay, best of luck.
There you go, Joe Luala-Chul. He's confident. He wants to take it up to the Sydney Kings in the end. The Wildcats ended Melbourne's season, and they're into the semis. 95-77 the final score. Welcome back to Perth, and the Perth Wildcats are through to the semi-finals. Rollercoaster ride of a season for the Red Army and their team. They got the job done. Melbourne United done for the 25-26 season, and Perth charge on, hoping to take care of the Kings. That will be a tough assignment, but gee, that second half was impressive, and they'll take a lot of confidence heading over to Sydney for that.
Well, Perth win that second half 51-24. They dominate the rebound count, and JLA really asserted himself as a frontline player again in that second half. And I just thought Melbourne United's inaccurate shooting really opened the door for Perth to start to dominate and grow in confidence on the offensive end.
What did you make of it?
Well, 2 things. If you're going to shoot 37 times from beyond the three-point line, you better knock down more than just 7. And you can't allow the other team, especially a home team, to get to the free throw line 43 times. I think that's where the game was won and lost. Rebounds, shooting percentages, and free throws.
All right, this is where you two come into play, okay? Tuesday night, semi-final time in the NBL. It starts with Adelaide and Southeast Melbourne. This is where you two star. The big stage is where D-Ruck and Damian Martin charge.
Outstanding game 1 to open our semifinals. Cotton versus Sobey, 2 of the most exciting teams in the competition. Cannot wait.
I think Southeast trying to apply that same pressure, but I think Bryce and his teammates might handle it a little bit better than the Wildcats did.
Well, you're biased towards Bias. Wednesday night, it is Sydney and Perth. That is going to be a classic as well. Perth Wildcats take a little bit of confidence for tonight, but Sydney are the team to beat, no doubt about it.
Kendrick Davis, the most informed player in the competition. Sydney, #1 in the league in defense. We just saw the Wildcats come off a big victory here. Another fantastic series coming up.
Well done, D-Ruck. Well done, Damo. Annalie, terrific job. Semi-finals time here in the NBL. Get yourself ready for some great basketball. Wildcats are through to play Sydney.
This program is brought to you by Hungry Jack's and Bunnings Warehouse.
Still waiting.